You never asked for anything, but the way you loved me made me realize how much I'd settled for people who only stayed when I gave them something. You never asked for anything, and that taught me the difference between being wanted and being appreciated. You never asked for anything, but somehow you gave me more peace than anyone who ever claimed to love me. You never asked for anything, and maybe that's why your love still feels like a miracle I wasn't ready to receive. You never asked for anything. You just loved me as if I was already whole, even when I was falling apart inside. You never asked for anything, and that purity still echoes in my chest, reminding me not all love has conditions. You never asked for anything, but you cared in ways that were louder than any promises I've ever heard. You never asked for anything, and that's why you're the only person I still think about when the world feels unbearable. You never asked for anything. You just held my heart like it was something sacred, not something broken. You never asked for anything, but you showed me that even silence can feel like safety when it comes from the right person. You never asked for anything. You simply stayed, and sometimes that is the biggest form of love. You never asked for anything, and I still ache knowing I didn't fully understand your love until you were gone. You never asked for anything, but you taught me how to breathe again when life had taken all my air. You never asked for anything, and that's what made your presence feel like home instead of a lesson. You never asked for anything, but you gave me the courage to believe that I could be loved without performing. You never asked for anything. You just held space for me, even when I didn't know what to do with it. You never asked for anything, but you gave me a version of love that wasn't loud, toxic, or demanding. It was healing. You never asked for anything, and that's why I still find myself wondering how someone could love so quietly, yet so deeply. You never asked for anything, but you made me feel seen in ways I didn't know I needed. You never asked for anything, and sometimes I think that's the kind of love I'll spend the rest of my life searching for. You never asked for anything. You simply accepted me when I couldn't even accept myself. You never asked for anything, but you showed me how love can feel gentle instead of exhausting. You never asked for anything, and that softness still brings tears to my eyes when I think about how rare it was. You never asked for anything, but you held my heart in your hands like you were afraid to break it. You never asked for anything, and that made me realize how much I had mistaken chaos for passion. You never asked for anything, but your presence healed wounds I thought would stay with me forever. You never asked for anything, and that's why your memory feels like a safe place. I go back to when life hurts. You never asked for anything, but you stayed long enough for me to understand that real love doesn't keep score. You never asked for anything. You just showed up with a sincerity that still warms me from the inside out. You never asked for anything, but you gave me the strength to face parts of myself I used to run from. You never asked for anything, and that makes losing you feel like losing a part of the peace I finally found. You never asked for anything, but your love whispered truths that I still carry with me. You never asked for anything, and that's why I catch myself comparing every new person to you. You never asked for anything, but you taught me the difference between someone who loves you and someone who needs you. You never asked for anything, and your gentle presence still feels louder than all the people who demanded everything. You never asked for anything, but you gave me a love that didn't drain me. It filled me. You never asked for anything, and that's why every memory of you feels like a blessing I didn't deserve. You never asked for anything, but you understood me in ways I didn't know how to explain. You never asked for anything, and that's what made your love feel so painfully rare. You never asked for anything, but you gave me a sense of belonging I didn't know I was missing. You never asked for anything, and that was the first time in my life someone made me feel safe without conditions. You never asked for anything, but you made me feel like the world wasn't as heavy as I thought it was. You never asked for anything, and that simplicity felt like the most expensive love I've ever been offered. You never asked for anything, but you held my heart gently enough to remind me it was still capable of beating fully. You never asked for anything, and that's why I still struggle to forget you. You were the love that didn't demand, just existed. You never asked for anything, but you saw pieces of me that no one else cared to look at. You never asked for anything from me. You were the first person who loved without taking, and that terrified me more than all the people who pretended to care. You never asked for anything, and somehow that made me realize how starved my heart was for someone who didn't want to use me. You never asked for anything. You just stayed, quietly teaching me that love doesn't have to demand, chase, or beg to be real. You never asked for anything, and that made your presence feel sacred, like you were giving me a peace I didn't think I deserved. You never asked for anything, and maybe that's why losing you hurts the most. Because I know you never wanted to hurt me in the first place. You never asked for anything, You simply loved me in a way that felt like home, and I still catch myself longing for that safety. You never asked for anything. You just held me with your silence, and somehow that silence healed wounds I lived with for years. You never asked for anything, and that was the first time love didn't feel like a transaction, but like a gift I didn't know how to accept. You never asked for anything. You just showed up with a heart so soft that it made me question why I ever settled for anything less. You never asked for anything. You just loved me loudly in your own quiet way. The kind of love that speaks even when no words are said. You never asked for anything, and the purity of that scared me because I didn't know love could exist without expectations. You never asked for anything, and I keep replaying that in my mind, wondering how someone could give so much without asking for even a little in return. You never asked for anything, but you gave me more than anyone who ever demanded my everything. You never asked for anything. You simply wanted me to breathe, heal, and grow beside you, not for you. You never asked for anything, and that's why I still think of you when I'm tired, when I'm lost, and when the world feels too heavy. You never asked for anything. You just embraced my chaos like it was something beautiful, not something to run from. You never asked for anything, but you gave me space to fall apart and still believed I could rebuild myself. You never asked for anything. You just believed in me when I didn't believe in myself. And that changed everything. You never asked for anything, and that made your love purer than anything I've ever touched. You never asked for anything, and that simplicity made me realize how complicated everyone else made love seem. You never asked for anything. You just stood there, loving me in a way that didn't require explanation or performance. You never asked for anything, and it's strange how the ones who demand the least end up meaning the most. You never asked for anything. You just looked at me with honesty, and that honesty made me want to be a better person. You never asked for anything, but somehow you healed parts of me. I never told you were broken. You never asked for anything, and that still lingers in my chest like a soft echo of everything I didn't appreciate enough. You never asked for anything. Instead, you gave me a kind of love that didn't need to be loud to be felt deeply. You never asked for anything, and I think that's why your absence hurts like a quiet storm, slow, deep, and impossible to ignore. You never asked for anything. You just stayed long enough for me to understand what real care looks like. You never asked for anything, and maybe that's why I feel like I still owe you a lifetime of gratitude. You never asked for anything, but you offered your heart with a sincerity that still humbles me. You never asked for anything, and that's why losing you feel like losing the safest part of my life. You never asked for anything. You just treated my heart gently, as if it was something valuable and not something broken. You never asked for anything, and that taught me that love doesn't have to pull, push, or fight to be powerful. You never asked for anything. You just existed with a softness that made my wounds feel less like failures. You never asked for anything, and that made me want to give you everything, even the parts of me I hid from everyone else. You never asked for anything, and I still can't understand how someone could love so selflessly in a world that teaches us to take. You never asked for anything. You just loved with intention, not with conditions. You never asked for anything, and that was the first time in my life love didn't feel like a burden. You never asked for anything, and now I'm realizing that the love you gave was the love I always needed, but never knew how to accept. You never asked for anything. You just held space for me, even when I didn't know how to fulfill it. You never asked for anything, and that silence, that gentleness, still feels louder than all the people who demanded everything.